Hello and welcome to this week's angling vlog. This week you join me on the banks of the River Ribble. It's a nice cold morning and we're in search of dace and roach. In a recent vlog I did talk about this river and how fast it does drop, and that is an example today. The River Dee, the River Severn, they're all out of their banks at the moment, whereas the river behind me is low and clear. So what that means is the fishing today is a bit of an unknown. When the river's got a bit of colour and a bit of extra pace, you know them fish are going to be on the feed, whereas today with the river low and clear, like you can see in the margins behind me, you never really know. But I'm excited to get a line in the water and try. What we'll do now is we'll take a look at the setup, the swim, and how we're going to approach it. So in recent vlogs when we've been stick float fishing, we've been on the small rivers, and we recently did a vlog on here when the river was carrying a bit of extra water and we were fishing down that inside line. That is when I did use the Coarse glide. Today we might have to go down the middle, so what I've set up is my Preston Innovations 17-foot carbon active rod. Got that teamed up with a Shimano Techian reel, and on there I've got 4 pound 4 ounce float. Down to the business end I've got a 10 number 4 dome top. I know from experience that the swim does tend to shallow up as you go down. I'm hoping today to get the bites quite close to me, but if we do have to go down the swim, that dome top is going to help pull the bulk shot over the sand and not drag the float under. That is going to be down to a bulk shot of number 4s. I've got a hook link of 1 pound 7 ounce bare pearl on, and that is down to a size 18 hook. When the river's carrying the extra colour, I really don't think it minds how big of a hook you use. That extra colour just conceals the hook, and using double maggot and big baits you can get away with it. Today with the river being really clear, that's why I've gone with the light hook link and the small hook. So looking at the swim, it's my trusty shaky box for these long walks, minimum of tackle. Got a couple of pints of white maggot and some more in there, some Cheshire particle hemp, and it's actually Silster line that I'm using for my hook link. That's the keep net and that's the swim. The wind has dropped at the moment, but if it does get up, it is going to be upstream and in our face, so it's going to make filming difficult. But what a beautiful morning to be on the bank. It's cold, there's plenty of fish topping just upstream, but that does tend to be a bit of a slack, and I'm hoping today that I can just go where the flow starts and draw a few fish. It's a beautiful morning to be on the bank. I hope this wind keeps off and we can get a few bites. The first change that I've made is I've gone with a strung out shotting pattern and a few small bulk at the bottom, and that's purely because the wind has gone off the venue, so that strung out shotting pattern will let me hold back easier. You can see there it's just going over dark water the whole time from my point of view. And I think today with it being so clear, it's just going to take a bit of time to maybe draw the fish in. If we can't, then we'll have to think about going further out. But I'm just going to spend the first bit of the session just seeing if we can get the fish closer in. One of the first lessons I was taught about stick float fishing was always start easy and only go hard if you have to. There's a second shot down. We've got a fish. It's a dace. Feeding the maggots in line with me, maybe a bit downstream, because I want to make sure that them fish are down from where I am. Just going to start introducing a bit of hemp. So on the vlog I do get a lot of people asking why I've set up on a certain swim, and today it's purely down to the depth. This swim here has probably got about 4-5 foot close in, whereas if we were fishing some of the other swims we'd have to go probably middle to achieve, you know, a depth that the fish want to be in. You could certainly stand up in the swim that we fished on the last vlog that I mentioned at the start of the video, but as you can see there, what, just 2 rod lengths out, We're getting a few bites. You see there how close in that fish has come. Right close in. It's a roach. See there, that fish just come right close in. I've got to say it is ice cold in the palm, but there's one or two fish topping close in now. I'm confident of getting a few bites today. I think the only problem might be Mr. Pike or Mr. Perch, but as it goes, a nice start. So not really the start we wanted. We've lost two better fish that almost certainly were roach, I would think. So not ideal start. When I seen the clear water today, that is what I had in mind. Hopefully we'll get one or two a bit bigger, but Mr. Roach was what I was hoping for when I was walking the bank. And I say he's come quite close in. You got Mr. Swan, who's been a bit arrogant and a pain, a bit persistent. And I say you have to keep him moving on, because if you drop any bait down here, he's going to pick it up straight away. And it is a lovely morning to be on the bank. That wind now has just disappeared, and it's beginning to get one or two bites. There we go. It's coming, just edging that bait through, and that is where I do think them better roach will be, on that inside line. Whether they'll stay there if that sun comes up, I don't know. But all the roach that I have had have just come that little bit closer in. You see there how just close in that fish has come. A slightly better one. It's coming on that inside line. And we have got this tree in front of us. That is a much better quality fish. Fish is ice cold. That's a bit more the quality that we're looking for. Just keeping them in the swim is really hard. You know, you're working for every single bite, holding back hard and just inching that bait through to get any bite. There's a lot of fish moving, but getting them down to feed is another matter. Don't know whether my hand was covering the screen then, but you can just see the swirl of where the pike's come up and took a fish, so it explains just why it's been a bit quiet in the top part of the swim, and why all the bites have been coming probably down where that swan is. Maybe that is always the danger when you're fishing a clear river. Mr. Pike is most certainly on the feed. And look at the lovely hue on that back. Reminds me of those Toby spinners that you used to have as a kid. Used to weigh a ton and never caught any pike on them, but that shimmer at the top always reminds me of them. Whole lure fishing has changed now, eh? All the plastic lures that they've got. Back in the day, them Toby metal lures were the ones we used. like I always say, these are the days that I enjoy, the days where it's not easy, it's hard, and you've got to work at it. And always the days I enjoy, and today's been one of them days. And some days, you know, you don't get the quality fish. Some days you have to work for bites, and the bites are a smaller stamp. But it did feel at the start it was going to be hard when I seen how clear it was and that. But as always, it's been great fun. Right, so the session comes to an end there now, and a hard but enjoyable day on the bank. The temperature today really did drop during the session, especially when that wind come on the water. It definitely dropped a few degrees with that wind chill. So as you can see on screen now, we've had an enjoyable day on the bank. Really tough conditions with it being low and clear, so I'm proper made up with the net that we put together. Today was one of those sessions where you really had to work for every bite, just edging that bait through the swim to get a bite. If you let it go through normal, you just didn't get any type of a bite at all. Enjoyable but cold day on the bank. My hands are really cold, so I'm going to wrap it up here. I'd like to wish you all tight lines in your own fishing. Let's hope 2021 is a lot better than 2020. I hope you are all safe and well, and I'll catch you all next week. Tight lines.